Hey, it's Sean Zinn, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is a treat, guys. Right? Again, we have these comedy shows. We did one about a month ago, and it went well. We have a bunch of new and one that you saw before that are going to drop some major amounts of jokes, and we're hoping a lot of laughs on your end. We're not going to be able to hear you, so it's a little different as far as how we do our in the maybe in the venues, etc. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that everyone can see it first. So I'm going to go into my profile, make it public, and I want to make sure everybody that comes on, we have them tagged. So I'm going to bring each and every one of them on. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi there.
Come on, Sean.
Let me, as we're waiting, I was thinking let's wait about 4:10 is our kickoff, I think, for when we get started.
Oh, all right.
And I want to make sure we get enough people on here. So I'm going to make sure we tag everybody. Let's go around as far as a round robin. And we could start with Doug and go around Jeff, then Tom, then Scott, then Donna. How is it as far as when you're out and you're doing your stand-up in a venue? How do you prepare for that type of environment? Are you always looking for those hecklers and things like that? Let's have some behind the scenes of how you, as far as focus before you get on and do your set. Go ahead, Doug.
All right. Well, I begin with my brain. A sterile environment, as in I make sure my 96-year-old dad has been fed, and I can focus, and I write a mess on a piece of paper based on things I've done before, and I will either feel prepared when I go up, or whenever I'm around Donna, I'll feel totally unprepared, but she'll always set the stage so I can shine, and shining in her light is something.
So funny.
Hi, Donna. I hope my girlfriend doesn't see this. She's gonna. What's with you and Donna? There's nothing, honey. There's got to be something. You're always saying nice things about her.
At least now we're socially distant, so she should be safe.
Doug, why is your voice and your girlfriend's voice the same?
It's always been like that.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Sometimes when I need her, I just think of her and she appears.
I thought Tiny Tim was here. I was like, what is
It's
that?
how I deal with my isolation. I have my friends. Are we on? Oh, we are live.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
we are live.
We're live?
Yeah, we're just.
I thought
you're
this
not
was like, hey, let's just talk about how you're. I'm sorry. Okay.
And Jeff, what about you?
Edit that out.
Yes, of the live broadcast.
It's tough. How do you prepare? What are you looking for? Are you looking for, hecklers, or is it something you just get up there and wing it? I doubt.
Jeff looks frozen.
He does, right?
I think he is frozen.
Oh, he was going to a taxidermist.
This is a weekend at Bernie's.
I'm like 2 words, 2 syllables.
His computer froze up. He'll catch up in a little bit.
Go ahead,
skip
Tom.
to somebody. Yeah.
We'll go to Tom.
Yeah, I usually prepare a set list, and I often confuse it with my grocery list, so that could be problematic. But yeah, I really don't have. What are you laughing at, Doug?
I'm thinking of you.
I really don't have. I don't have hecklers per se. Oh, I'm getting used to this delay. I'm not used to this delay.
Yeah, it's a whole different
Anywho.
ball game, I'm sure, than a venue, because you have people you're looking at. Here, you're looking at yourself or a few of us, so it's a whole different ball game.
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
Tom do his food set. He went 20 minutes naming different foods. It was brilliant.
Did a 5-minute
Thank
riff
you,
on
Doug.
asparagus.
Go ahead, Scott.
So anyway,
Tom,
No,
next
Tom, you can finish.
yeah, I'm
Tom.
done. I'm done.
I'm done. That's it.
I'm going home.
All right. For myself, no, I don't look for hecklers. I mean, I'm one of the people, if I'm on either the middle or the back of the show, if I'm headlining or featuring or something like that, I do like to watch the show. I like to watch the other performers because I generally like the people I'm working with most of the time. And I want to see what they're saying. Also to see if I have to maybe stop doing something that night because they did something similar, or I have to, acknowledge that, hey, Donna said, she was talking about asparagus and I went, blah, blah, blah. And then you also find out if they're talking to people in the crowd and if they're talking to, or they have hecklers, who to either engage or avoid, or, what's been said. Like if you go, hey, how long you been married? And 3 people before them said they've been married for, that couple's been married for 27 years. They keep talking about them. You look like an idiot if you just show up and have no idea what's going on. But for my set, I usually write it on either a 3x5 card or I carry a little notebook, and I literally just write out a couple of words per line before I start the show, just to remind me, get my mind engaged. When you write, you learn more. I think it engages your mind. And I just write down the things I'm going to talk about in the order I'm going to talk about them, and then promptly forget everything. So
throw it all out the window.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Awesome. Donna?
I like to introduce myself to people as I'm walking in. I usually make friends and things like that. But as far as a heckler is concerned, I bring my own. I call her my BYOH. Bring your own heckler. It's my mother. And because, as far as anything, she's got her favorites on the show. And if she's tuned in, it's because Tom Mongeli's here. Has nothing to do with me. I'll tell you that right now.
What did you guys do to Jeff Greenberg? Like, he was here, he is gone. He hasn't come back. I don't know what happened.
Well, he's making an entrance, I think. All comics like to make an entrance. I'm sure he'll be back.
he just said my connection went out, reconnecting.
Well, we'll see if he pops in. I'll hear him come backstage and we'll get him back into our live here. But those that are watching, we love that we can't see you, but you can hear us, and we want you to hit and slam that laughing button constantly. Anytime you are laughing, you hit that button. Please, guys watching, the bunch of you on right now, hit the share button. The more people that we can get this shared out to, the more reach we have, the more exposure, the more opportunities that these awesome people can, get more out there as far as more laughs. They're not going to venues, right? There's no venues doing any stand-up right now. So we're trying to keep them on their, top of their game. And so when they're opened up again, they're going to just unleash. I'm sure you guys are ready to rock and roll. It's just waiting, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. Can't wait. We can't wait.
Those that are watching, definitely hit the share button. Drop a comment. Where are you watching us from? What state? If you want to put city and state, some people don't want to do too much. They watch lives and they just hit the love button or hit the wow button. We want you to hit the laugh button a lot. But we want you to comment too. If you have anything that you like about this, definitely use this as a networking as well, because some of them have other businesses too, and you'll hear about them later on. And if anybody needs anything on my front, again, I do all insurance. I help with connections, anything for your business to help you grow. We're going to hope that Jeff jumps back in, because the last time we did this, it allowed one person not to come back, and I'm not sure why. So we're hoping he's working and he paid his bills so that he can get on with us. So he's in the middle of the pack anyway. So I'm thinking about our batting order. We're going to have Tom first. We'll then go to Donna. And if Jeff's back, we'll get Jeff back in there. Can you see this comment? Yeah, we could see your comment.
That's my brother. Bringing a posse.
We're going to have, after Jeff, it'll be Doug, and then we'll have Scott. And from time to time, again, hit that share button, drop and smash that laughing button constantly. And let's, make sure we enjoy our time, especially what's going on. We're in this quarantine and getting out of the quarantine. Let's have a lot of laughs today. That's the goal. So and I have a couple of things I want to share. We really taken this up a notch. I have, since we're having Tom leading us off here, Tom is the 14th biggest thing in comedy, and pound for pound, the funniest comic in his pants. I want to introduce Tom Majelli. You're on.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want to start off by mentioning that this is my first attempt at streaming live for a comedy show. So I'd like to start by apologizing beforehand because I know I'm going to suck. And I should announce that this comedy set is rated COVID-19. Thank you. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I know that this quarantine has been like being on house arrest, except without the stylish ankle bracelet. House arrest nonetheless, and without the street cred. But I'm getting a little stir crazy being inside, but there's some upsides to it. One of the upside is that it has given us the gift of time. What do you mean by that? I'm glad you asked. Now, lately, I have the time to think about things I normally wouldn't think about. For instance, do you think the Pope ever used the phrase, "I'm just yanking your chain"? It just came to me yesterday. Anyway, this is how I see it. Son, you are absolved of all of your sins, my son. Oh, well, thank you, Your Eminence. I'm just yanking your chain. You're going to hell. That's the way I see that panning out. But anyway, speaking of time, don't laugh. It throws me off. I'm not used to it. I've also had time to plan out new business ventures. Like, for instance, as soon as we get the all clear, I'm opening a Wawa in Mawa just so I can answer the phone. Mawa, Wawa. Looking forward to that. And I'm also planning on opening a discount surgical center called Suit Yourself.
Oh.
That's something I always wanted to do. Well, strap in, they get worse. And probably my most ambitious venture, I'm going to open up an underwater bowling alley called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Because that's how I roll. That's just stupid. Anyway. So, but you know, another good thing is with this this lockdown, I'm not spending money like I used to spend. You know, I'm not traveling for these comedy shows. No Atlantic City losses, which is a big thing for me. No restaurants every night. So really, for the first time in a long time, I'm finding myself with like extra pocket money. So, you know, I treated myself. I took advantage. I went out and I bought a Zamboni machine. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I have it now. So anyway, I find myself doing these strange things to combat boredom. Like I would sit, I would wait in the drive-through line at a fast food place. I'd order all kinds of shit, and then I'd just leave the line and leave and go. So leave them to figure it out. It's kind of funny if you think about it. Anyway, that keeps me going. And all last week, I spent trying to teach my chicken how to play the trombone. I don't even have a chicken. It's getting bad. I need to get out and see people. And just this morning, I put a lava lamp in my refrigerator just to confuse the Jell-O. I don't even know what that means. Yeah. But, you know, I really haven't had any negative effects to this long-term isolation. No negative effect. Well, at least that's what my cat tells me. Yeah, I have a cat. His name is Joey Bag of Donuts. And he's a great cat, but, you know, when he ticks me off, I chase him around with chopsticks. I'm gonna get you. Oh, you number 24. He doesn't like that too much. But yeah, he leaves me these little surprises, like vomit bombs in my sneakers. Yeah, oh yeah. You haven't lived till you step barefoot into hot cat puke. It's a sheer joy. But I get even though. I when he wasn't looking, I took a dump in his litter box. The poor bastard thinks he's got colon cancer. This was like a week and a half ago. He's still trying to bury it. Little bastard. Anyway, that's Joey Bag of Donuts. He, it's funny. I've been doing nothing but eating. Before the lockdown, I managed to lose 34 pounds on Weight Watchers. 34 pounds. The way I've been shoveling junk food down my gullet, though, I've renamed Weight Watchers. What's the point? I have to say, COVID-19 my ass. It's more like COVID-35. Period. That's what I have to say. And I just found out. I've been wrong the whole time. I just found out it's survival of the fittest, not the fattest. Man, am I screwed. But they say that you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Right now, my favorite foods are couch potatoes and muffin tops. I don't know.
Oh,
Last night, I made a fort out of empty pizza boxes, pie tins, and ice cream containers. I've been doing these battle reenactments with my cat. Remember the Alamode. I'm such an ass. I really am. Anyway, lately I've been doing a lot of binge watching. You do binge watching? I've been binge watching mostly the inside of my refrigerator. I've had that door open so much I had to change the light bulb twice. Unbelievable. It seems like anything I do, though, to attempt to keep my weight down or to stay fit just backfires. Like, I've been spending a lot of time on my Nordic couch. Doesn't seem to be helping. And I bought a Fitbit. It didn't fit. And this quarantine marks the longest that I've not gone to the gym. 43 years. What can I say? And I tell you, these news shows are. I try not to watch the news, but I did hear that ex-Joint Chief of Staff Colin Powell had some choice words to say about our president. But by the way, did you know that Colin Powell, when he was young, he was kind of gangly and uncoordinated? His friends used to call him Spaz. Actually, his real nickname was Spastic Colin. But yeah, he didn't mind that nickname when he was younger, but as he grew older, he would become incensed whenever he heard it, which is a condition now called irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody still listening, I did want to plug a couple of things. I do a podcast with the marvelous Doug Max, who you're going to see in a little while. And the podcast is called Funny Talk with Mongeli and Max. And we can be seen on Podbean. It's funnytalk.podbean.com. And I have it up on the wall behind me. I don't know if you can see it. You probably see it backwards. That's because Doug reads from right to left. So I did it that way.
Please drop
But anyway,
comments afterwards for sure.
And I also I put together comedy shows under the name Comedy for Hire. That's comedy, the number 4 hire. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at comedyforhire@gmail.com. And I also am involved with CBD oil and hemp-related products. So if you're interested in either purchasing some CBD oil or like products, or get involved with the company yourself, It's called HempWorks, and my particular website is hempworks.com/healing quest, and I'll hold up the sign. I don't know. Can you see this?
All right.
Yeah, and my email is tom.mangelli.hq@gmail.com, and you can jump on the bandwagon for CBD oil. And my name is Tom Mangelli, and I approve of this message. Thank you.
Awesome job. Awesome job, Tom.
Thanks.
Well, next up,
Thank you.
we have Donna V, owns a salon gossip in Bloomfield, New Jersey, has performed all over New York and New Jersey, as well as produces and hosts her own shows. Donna V and Friends. Please welcome Donna V.
What's up, everybody? How are you? My name is Donna V. I'm really glad to be here. And just like Tom said, this too is my first. I'm like popping my cherry fruit right in front of all of you. And it's live to see. And I'm so excited because my mom tuned in and I don't have to look at her face because she usually does this whenever I say something like popping. You know, it's never comfortable when you have to do comedy in front of your parents, but it's more uncomfortable when you have to do it in front of your kids, especially now that I'm stuck in this basement during this quarantine and all they do is hear me talk to my computer and basically they're planning a walkout. I'd be okay with it though, because, you know, I don't really care about them being here. I don't need them as an audience. They've heard my material. They're over it. And the best part is they left. So now I try on their clothes. So I'm actually wearing my daughter's Sweet 16 dress because I wanted to get dressed up. And I thought maybe Zoom would give me a reason to wear pants. And then I thought, I don't know if I'm ready yet for pants. It's been like 14 weeks. So I thought, you know, this is perfect. It's bedazzled. It was her Sweet 16 dress. She looked like Katy Perry. I look like a thrown up cupcake. And I'm okay with it. But the best part about it is I hate working out. And they finally let me out of the gym easily because of COVID. So I actually love COVID-19. Thank you so much. I actually got to email the gym and say, I just don't want to be there anymore. And they said, okay. And I didn't have to fake an injury or produce a doctor's note. Or, you know, like cut up a credit card and say it was stolen in a parking lot. Because that never made me feel good about that. The best part about this dress is it's become my actual trainer because I zip it up every few days. And if it fits, I just crack open a beer because I'm like, fuck it, there's room. Why not? I mean, I spend all my time down the basement anyway, and I'm just starting to really feel comfortable. It's funny, a lot of people had a problem with quarantine because they didn't want to have to stay home. And as Sean said, I am a salon owner that has been in solidarity, not coloring or cutting my hair. I think it makes me look younger, the pigtail, or crazier. I'm not really sure. But I had to do it because women were calling me and getting pissed off when they saw a selfie saying to me, oh my God, what the hell? Did you color your hair? And I'm like, no, but really, it's not your business. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I got to go back to work one day. I might as well keep them happy. I'm not really looking forward to going back to work. And I don't care who sees this because I've announced it on several different podcasts I've had, drinking, not drinking, sober, and otherwise. But I wanted to show everybody why, because you don't understand. As a hairdresser whose salon name is Salon Gossip, I have to go back under extreme gag orders. And as you can see, I really am not good at gagging or shutting up. So I decided for my PPE, you have to wear a shield. Oh, by the way, I have a lot of energy. So I perform every night on a fucking trampoline because no one will give me Adderall. But Tom, I might ask for some CBD. So you have to wear a PPE mask with your hair, right? And a shield. So just in case someone comes to me while I'm PMSing, I decided to put the devil's face right on the mask Look at this. Are you sure you want your hair cut like this? I got to tell you,
Right.
I'm not really thrilled about going back because I thought maybe it's almost time. I fit in this dress. I got pigtails. Maybe I can get back on a dating app. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I think this is the look I've been waiting for. It's going to be called Quarantine Dating 2020. Finally, STD is not the bad guy anymore. It's COVID. It's like, you don't have to worry about getting anything itching down here. You can't even make out anymore because the spit is where the bad stuff is. And you can't swallow because the spit is bad, but I'm sure that the other thing doesn't help either. I hate food shopping. That's another thing I've learned about myself during this entire quarantine. So what I do is when I order food in, I order extra stuff. Like I order an extra salad or I order an extra dessert. And then I wake up from like my drunken stupor and I say, do I want salad or dessert? And then I realize I have to share it with the kid I'm quarantining with. So we roll some dice and I've been living off cannolis and fucking Miller Lite and I'm okay with it. Have you, can you tell I'm freaking out down the basement? But I will say this. I've been preparing for quarantine my entire life because my parents got divorced and I was raised by my Irish and Italian grandparents. And it was like, they had the plastic on the furniture and all that stuff. So like, honestly, COVID, my couch would have survived. It would have been great. I had the runner going through the living room. It was plastic. That would have been fine. The rug would have lived. Except for when I turned it over just to bust my brother's chops and made him run on top of what would be like Nancy Keller's book or, whatever. Like it's Helen Keller. You know what? Nancy was a girl I went to class with. I'm a little losing it down here. I'm fine. But the best part is that they raised me to be seen. No, don't be seen. Don't be heard. Nothing. They were like, get the hell down the basement. So it occurred to me about 3 weeks in. There's like a comfort level I'm finding down here. I think it's because it reminds me of childhood. And then I was like, I could do this. We had neighbors next door, Parag and Urpana, Majvindar, they were Indian. And I had to play wiffle ball over the fence. I kid you not. This is how it went. My brother and I were in our yard. They were in their yard. I wasn't allowed to play with them. They wound up being doctors. I'm doing comedy in a basement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they should have been allowed over. So we'd actually wind up. I'd like hit the ball. I'd run to the one part of the fence, tag the sister in. She'd run the other two bases. And it was just the most friendly game of wiffle ball you've ever seen in your life. To be the champion of the yard again, I don't know. So, yes, I've reproduced twice. I have 2 kids. My brother's saying those were the good old days. This is actually the best relationship I've ever had with my brother because he's stuck because of COVID in Texas, and I'm in Jersey in my basement, and we get along just fine now. Mother's Day felt good without the guilt because I actually said to my mother, I can't hug you. You might have COVID. And my therapist was like, well, I'm glad to see that the guilt was taken off of you for a reason. I said, hell, I wish I could have told her I was communicable a long time ago. I do love my mother, but she loves Tom Mangello more than she loves me, so I'm a little bit angry about that. One thing I don't mind about this whole quarantine either is the fact that a lot of my friends are in their house with their spouses. And I thought, wow, that must be great. You're having sex regularly. And they're like, no, I have to come up with better excuses. And I'm like, that's terrible. I would give anything right now to, not have a spouse. But it's okay because this is the first time I've been able to embrace my commitment issues. It's like I don't even have to go on a date or keep a date because I'm in a basement. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I'm Donovan. Thank God I talked fast, you guys.
Awesome job, Donna.
Thanks. So I own Salon Gossip in Bloomfield. I'd love to have your business, but I can only service about 8 people a day now because of social distancing. And there's a lynch mob outside of my house looking for an appointment. And when they find out that I'm doing live comedy and not booking them, my career is pretty much over, but that's fine because I'd like to just read books to kids all day. I actually read every morning from 10 to 11 to kids. It's called Story Time with Donna V. It's really because I couldn't afford therapy anymore, so it just helps my inner child heal. And then at 3 o'clock, I do a beauty segment with the most amazing woman named Dawn Maloney, who every man in America writes, "We love your show. Is she single?" I'm like, why do I always have to be the fucking troll doll? She looks like Barbie, and it's fine. I'm okay with it. 8:05 at night, I do Camp Quarantine, and basically I'm down in this basement, and we play Hangman. I'll be here tonight for a game of Hangman with a man that allows me to call him Big Blind Frank because he's big and he's blind, and I'll be interviewing him. I double as Peter Herman sometimes, which is why I just probably have been singing for so long. And that's okay. Now I go by Missy Vaughn, and I'm okay with it. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your doing that.
Awesome job, Donna. Next up, we have, you probably have seen Jeff at the Broadway Comedy, Greenwich Village Comedy Club, and Tierney's Tavern in New Jersey. He has been producing and performing virtual comedy shows and is a good friend on the Connection Machine. Say hello to Jeff Greenberg.
All right, Sean. How's everybody doing this afternoon here after a long week?
Doing well.
All right, people ask me, Jeff, what do you find different between performing live versus performing virtual comedy? What's the difference? And I said, for me, there really is no difference. Either way, I don't hear any laughs, Oh God, what's going on? I was just thinking of something earlier, that if a comedian was on death row and just about to be executed, would his last words be, "Hey, that's my time, everyone"? Jerry bartender,
Nice.
I think about
I love it.
So how's everybody doing handling the COVID-19, the quarantine, everything like that? Everything's doing okay. Social distancing, social distancing for me goes back to the 1980s when I used to go to the Jewish singles dances. The women were staying 6 feet apart from me back then. They were early adopters of the social distancing. Even the girls in high school, the high school girls are now taking out their 10-foot poles to use again to make sure they're far from me, Oh, God, what can I say? So anyway, I know last week we had all the protesting going on all over the country, and obviously everybody's for equal rights and whatnot. I believe in protesting, and even like in the first, even the First Amendment, it said we're here for peaceful assembly. Peaceful assembly. Well, you don't have peaceful assembly when you bring something home from IKEA. You know what I mean? You're yelling, screaming, yelling at your wife. Sitting there for 6 days. Where's that peaceful assembly on the First Amendment? Well, anyway, we had the marching going on, the looting. And the thing is that one of the looters I found that was about was going to loot Macy's, but was very concerned about getting the virus, so ordered curbside pickup over at Macy's. Also, there was one of the looters that was caught in the fitting room at Macy's stealing jeans. You figure if you're going to steal jeans, you want to make sure it's the right size. You don't want to just come running out of there with something you got to return. That's another question I have. If you steal something from a department store, right? During the looting, and then you decide you have a conscience, you want to bring it back. Will they take it back without a receipt? I don't know. Oh, so what can I say? So I tell you, it's been tough here, living here at home 4 months now. I know Donna had mentioned that. Not having a spouse in the house, but believe me, it's no treat with me and my wife. In fact, can somebody warn me if she comes up behind with a butcher's knife? Please, just let me know ahead of time. I don't want to be blindsided here. But my wife, part of the problem is the hygiene. She just hasn't, since she's not leaving the house, she hasn't bathed much. In fact, it's been about 3 weeks since her last shower. So when my wife, she likes to sleep in the raw. Lately, it's like raw sewage, you know?
Jeez.
Oh my God, you know. In fact, all we do is argue. It's this nonstop bickering and arguing over the slightest thing, you know. So on Easter, like I said, I'm Jewish. You could probably tell, Jeff Greenberg. My wife is Irish Catholic. You know, Colleen Quinn is her name. You know, she wasn't going to change her name to Greenberg. It's not going to be a Colleen Greenberg running around. You know, somehow that's your mouth will ache if you have to say something like that. It just doesn't go. So anyway, but it's nonstop arguing. So what happens is on Easter, I decided to watch Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments back to back. It's 9 hours of television, everybody. 9 hours of television. And it's not that I'm not religious or really love the movies. It's because I just wanted 9 hours without my wife screaming at me. That's really basically it. You know, and my dog, a little terrier mix, Piper. And the dog was, in the beginning, was very happy that we were both home. You know, doesn't have to be in the crate at all. But now the dog is getting so bored from me, can't take me anymore. When I go downstairs, she just automatically plays dead, you know, just to avoid having any kind of interaction with me. Oh, so anyway, let's see. I'll switch to something a little different. People ask me, Jeff, how long have you been doing comedy for? But I haven't been doing stand-up that long. But I've been entertaining people for many years. And I go back to when I was 13 years old, you know, really, I'd say right about my bar mitzvah. You know, my mother, she would say to me, Jeff, you know, I know you like to tell jokes and this and that, but it's your bar mitzvah. When you get up there, please don't embarrass us. Think of the family, please. I said, Ma, don't worry about a thing. I will not embarrass you. So I would get up there in the temple and I would say, what a crowd, you're all right, you know. Hey, Rabbi Haftorah, what are you talking about? I'll do the whole thing, you know. And Uncle Seymour, you brought a family of 5. The check better be more than $35, I'll tell you that, you know. I tell you, last week a guy stole my identity. When he realized it was me, he gave it back, you know. You're all right. Oh, God. Let's see. So what else is going on? Yeah, I don't like to get too political, but have you noticed Joe Biden doing his streaming in the basement where he does like interviews on the different TV networks? It has a lot of problems really with the camera. He's looking at the wall. He's stuttering. He's not coming through good. There's a lot of bad streaming problems. I haven't seen such bad streaming since my last urology appointment where I kept missing the cup, you know?
Oh.
In fact, you know, when Trump was in the bunker last week, you know, he was down in the bunker, I was thinking, do you think him and Joe Biden were playing video games together? They were in each other's family basements there. You know, just things I think about, you know? And let's see. What else can I say? So, you know, I went to visit my mother. You know, thank God I went to visit Mom, you know, about, I guess it was about maybe 7 months ago. This is before everything got locked down, you know, everything, because my mother's in assisted living. She's 84 years old. But I went to go visit, you know, how about a hand for Mom? 84 years old. All right. My mother, I never had a good relation with my mother. I was never wanted. I was never wanted as a kid, you know. My mother, just so you know, my mother, you know, she still tells me that she suffers from postpartum depression from me. That's how bad it is, you know. Oh God, my mother tried to do a Jewish abortion. She tried to return me to Bloomingdale's. Will you take this? I get anything back. So anyway, I think my time is about coming up here. So I'll do a quick plug. That my wife usually expects out of me as a quick plug. But anyway, now.
Oh,
Man. Cut that out. Rochester. But anyway, I do impersonations of people who've been long dead. In fact, usually their offspring have been long dead. I go back to like the 1920s. Anyway, I have like Tourette's. I have like Jack Benny Tourette's. You know, that's how bad things are with me. But anyway, Just let people know, full time, I do mortgages. I work for Guaranteed Rate. So feel free if anybody out there needs a mortgage, wants to refer me a mortgage, purchases, refinances, debt consolidations, reverse mortgages for seniors. In fact, I was talking about a reverse mortgage for a senior the other day, and she said, "This is something I can really sink my teeth into." I said, "Literally." But anyway, yeah, that's what I do. I also put together some different comedy shows on Facebook and the StreamYard that we're using. So feel free for any comics out there to reach out to me if they want to do different things. And that's it.
Awesome job, Jeff. Next up, we have Doug Max, has performed at many of the major New York City clubs, Caroline's, Gotham, the Comic Strip, Broadway Comedy Club, and was the winner of the Comedy Cove's comedy competition. Here is Doug Max.
So he's on mute, probably.
Is he muted?
Yeah, Doug, you're on mute.
Is this part of his bit?
And oddly, this is the funniest he's ever been.
Marcel impersonation.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I was on mute, but I heard what you guys said. Tom, I'm going to want to talk to you later. So what I said was I'm like many others, very new to this online comedy medium. Also, I feel very uncomfortable not doing stand-up. So I hope you guys are all okay if I do. So, so do I look okay? Let me do my hair. Okay, that was a little shtick I prepared just for you. Anyway, audience, I how can I put this? I can't see you. I can see my comedy friends. I want you to know that the three of the comics that came before me all did on their own material that I was going to do. Tom started off with an apology, and I'm like, well, I can't apologize to you. I want to apologize, but I can't. That's Tom's material. And people that know me know I do an incredible Rodney Dangerfield, but of course that was going to be like 7 minutes of my act, and then Donna knows too well that sometimes when we're performing for 414 Entertainment, I get jealous of how pretty she looks in a dress, and I have a nice little pink spring dress that I don. I can't put that on for you people too. So is my time up yet, Sean? No. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to, another bit I wanted to say is I'm deaf, so I think I'm very prepared for this medium. In like many others, never hearing laughter when they perform. Unfortunately, I'm really only deaf in one ear, but I've still really never heard laughter. This is what happens when you write material for a unique audience. Let's see, something else I wrote, unique, just for you people out there. So one of the things they teach many people when they're uncomfortable in a situation is to imagine the audience naked. So that's what I've been doing. I want you to know this is why I feel as comfortable as I do. I've been imagining you all naked, but I've been on the internet a while, and I've gotten to know people on the internet. And I know that a lot of you are really naked right now, and it's making me feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go down and get a drink of water. And if you could all put on clothes, I'll come back. So I'll get into my act.
All right.
Oh,
And there's finally, am I over yet? No?
No.
Can I start?
You got time.
So, unlike the other comics who all did topical things, I wanna go back 5 years ago. My mother died, And she left me with that horrible line to begin a comedy routine with. One of you got that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I heard that, Doug. That's how comics acknowledge how funny that was. They go, if you hear it means comics are saying, Doug, that was wry and funny. Is my time up yet? Oh, so my father wanted to be by himself for a while after my mom died. I had found myself divorced and I was living alone, and one thing led to another. I made what turned out to be a pretty foolish offer to say, Dad, what if I come and live with you and take care of you? The caretakers were horrible for him. My dad, so you know, is now 97. He was a World War II vet. He was a slave laborer, Nazi slave laborer. He actually escaped from Nazi slave labor. So he'd been through an awful lot. I would have not felt right not taking care of him. So I volunteered about 3 years ago. When I moved in with him, it was February. One of the things I didn't know about old people, as they get older, they like the temperature to be their age. So when I moved in with him in February, it was nice. I'm like, this is great. It's 20 degrees outside. I can go around the house in shorts. And then it got to be summer in New Jersey. 95 degrees, 90% humidity. I'm beginning to sweat. My dad had suffered a heart attack and, was really, really weak from all that. I'm like, but Dad, you got to put on the air conditioning. I'm comfortable. Dad, can you see I'm sweating? I'm comfortable. Dad, you've got to put on the air conditioning. He's like, I'll take a shower, come out of the shower, get hit with the hot, cold blast of air, get pneumonia and die. Like, how can I argue with that? I had taken to cool myself don. I'd be in like my office. It'd be like 88 degrees. I had to spritz myself with the spray bottle, turn on the fan. I'd be like sitting on my ShamWow to absorb all the. One day I'm up in my office, delirious. The doorbell rings. It's Esther from the temple. My father does speaking about his World War II experience. So I go down to answer the door. I don't know what it was, the heat or the delirium. I was wearing my Spider-Man underoos.
Yes.
Extra large boys. Anyway, I answer the door. She looks at me up and down. She gets that look, and I'm like, you know something? This is going to turn out great. She's going to tell my father about my inappropriate behavior, and he's going to finally put on the air conditioning. No, that didn't happen. Esther came over 3 days in a row. That was that joke. She liked me in my Spider-Man underoos.
Hardly.
So anyway, as a result of my father's, health with the heart attack, he had pulmonary edema. The VA takes really, really good care of him. So his primary caretaker came over. This was last summer. She said, Doug, he really needs to walk around more. He's getting unstable. You need to get him a walker. I'm like, screw that. He doesn't do anything around the house at all. I do everything. I got him a lawnmower. That's not that, Donna. It was a self-propelled lawnmower.
I like that joke. I laughed.
Anyway, every now and again, I'll look out the back. It'll be like dragging him behind. He leaves like little furrows behind him where he goes. I can follow behind and reseed the lawn. It's great for everyone. But anyway, I've been getting punchy, not just because of COVID, but because of the responsibility of taking care of my dad. I haven't had a vacation in it's been 3 years. I have to be with him literally every night. And it was really, really draining me. And my sister's in California, and she's not been a heck of a lot of help. But she called a few weeks ago asking how Dad is. I go, oh, he's fine. She's like, what's he up to? I'm like, oh, he's up on the roof. What? He's up on the roof? What? I'm like, yeah, he's blowing the gutters. Doug, what are you doing having Dad blowing the gutter? Wendy, he doesn't do anything around the house at all. It's good exercise for him. She's like, I'm going to book a plane. I'll be there next week. You can go and have a vacation. So it ended up, well, not funny. Anyway, so I'm told that's my time. I do want to thank Sean for putting on a wonderful show. This has been fun. I've enjoyed seeing my other comics. I'm going to look forward to seeing Scott. I will remind you all that I am on a show called Funny Talk with Max. I'm sorry, it's Funny Talk with Mangelli and Max that you can see at funnytalk.podbean.com. The second and fourth Tuesday of the month. It's also a podcast, so you can see it really whenever you want, wherever you would want to see that. Maybe you would. It's possible. Not totally. Don't laugh. It's not totally impossible that they would want to see it. They might want to see it. And this is how I fizzle out. Thank you, guys.
Awesome job, Doug.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Scott has performed at the Borgata and the Tropicana in Atlantic City. He has been a guest on the Big Daddy Graham Store on Sports Radio 94 WIIP in Philadelphia. By day, he is a top producing real estate agent at the South Jersey Shore. Here is Scott Friedman.
Thank you. You all hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, I do have to correct you, Sean. You're not from the area. It's actually only 3 letters in that radio station. It's WIP. Yeah, Sports Radio Philadelphia. That's all right. It's okay. One thing, like you guys, I am. This is new to me doing the online comedy, and planning is an issue. I'm looking up here, and it says live 52 minutes, and it's counting and counting and counting. I've been here the whole show, as you all have, and I don't know about you, but I really have to pee. So this is going to be real short, and we're going. This glass of water was full, and yeah, there you go. Sean's got a jug. That's great. Yeah, well, the beer will go, Donna. That's perfect. Usually you do like to end the show as a comic. You guys will attest to this. Well, maybe not Doug, but the rest of you might know what it's like to end a show. I'm kidding, Doug. You like to be what's called the headliner, the closer. The problem is when you're doing a live Facebook. I mean, how many times have you guys been on live Facebooks that you've watched, or YouTubes where this is also on, or any venue where it's a video and you're just like, oh God, that's really long. I think we topped out on one of the venues. I think I saw 13 people. There was right there 13 people on my phone. Now we're at -4. So I get to play to -4 people. Very nice. Very nice. I'm excited about that. I've always wanted to do that. Yeah. Surprisingly, I've had smaller crowds. All right. So now I'm not going to do a lot of the COVID material that you guys all did, you hacks. But no, you guys were really funny. You had some good stuff. I really didn't come up with any COVID material. The only thing I can tell you is that being bald, I get to cut my own hair. You guys all have to deal with not being able to go to salons yet. Of course, Donna, you did your own thing there. Let's see, political humor. All right, it's very difficult to do political humor as a comedian because you definitely split the room. Some people hate what you're saying. Some people love what you're saying. And if you're in the wrong venue, you don't know your audience, you got a problem. So here's what I'm going to do. Ready? How about that Trump, huh? Now watch. How about that Biden, huh? Okay, good. We're done. So, that's my political humor. All right. So, just lounging around the house, trying to, not put on the COVID 35 that Tom was talking about. And, you get to think about a lot of things. You're watching TV, you got nothing to do sometimes. And, me, I'm thinking about the time I had the heart attack on September 16, 2019. Yeah. Thanks, Doug, for doing heart attack material. That was nice. I hope your dad's okay. Seriously. No, I typically, comics like to start off with a big joke and get a big laugh. I like to suck the joy out of the room. So that's what I'm doing. Normally, I say this thing about my heart attack as more of a health benefit to myself, because at any time I could drop dead. And I don't want audiences thinking, oh, this is one of those stupid comedy jokes, live performance type thing, and they all freeze. I want those suckers up there giving me CPR, right? But here, nobody's coming through the computer screen, so I'm screwed. It doesn't really work. And I already locked my wife and the kids out of the office. This is actually the bedroom. Out of the bedroom because I'm doing this show. Either that or they don't care and don't know that I'm alive and whatever. So, whatever, it doesn't matter. But with the heart attack, as maybe Doug's dad would attest to, you have to take medicine for the rest of your life. And it's a really weird thing because everybody who came into my hospital room when I was, surviving, I guess, recovering, they were all like, make sure you take your meds. Make sure you take your meds. Apparently that's a big thing. Like a lot of people weren't taking their meds, right? I don't want to be judgy, but maybe that's the kind of life decisions we made that got us the heart attack. So, maybe we should be taking our meds, especially when the janitor comes in and says, hey man, make sure you remember to take your meds, right? That's a pretty big sign. But if you look at the medication, if you look at your medication that you get from the drugstore, right? And you look down and it tells you the side effects and it tells you the uses and all that. One of my heart attack medications says literally to prevent death. Who the fuck's not taking that med? How do you not take that medication? How is it? How do there so big of a problem that everybody who came to my room had to remind me to take my medication for the rest of my life to prevent death? Go back to your medicine cabinets when this show is done. Take a look at anything you have in your medicine cabinet. I promise you, it doesn't say to prevent death. All right, Tylenol, fever reducer, right? Advil, it's an anti-inflammatory. Tom's anti-itch cream. I mean, we know what that does. Doug's herpes medication. Well, it's fine, but nothing says to prevent death. Sorry. So I had a weird heart attack. I was 100% blocked in my right coronary artery. The other three arteries, which are on your left and center, they were perfectly fine, minimal. Right. So apparently all the cheesesteaks just went to my right side. So I don't know how that happened there. But 100% blocked. That's pretty darn close to you're dead. Right. Right. And I started thinking about all of the inconvenient places that I had just been right before the heart attack that I could have just dropped dead at any second. And that would have been horrible. Like the week before, I was at a buddy's wedding. Right. How great would that have been? Oh, honey, let's watch the video of our special day. That was the husband, by the way. And oh, look, there's where Scott drops dead doing the cha-cha slide. The day before, I was out with some buddies on a jet ski. And I was borrowing a friend's jet ski, right? So that's a problem right there. It wasn't even my own jet ski. It was one of their, I don't know, what do they cost? $5,000 or something like that. So if I keel over on the jet ski, now I have a life vest on, so I'm bobbing along the river. But what do? Do they take me or do they take the jet ski? Tough decision to make. Pretty inconvenient, right? Yeah. The night before, I was making love to my girlfriend. Oh, my wife would have been pissed. Horrible. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Come on, it's a joke. It's very difficult though. So you start really getting morbid about it, like and thinking about that. So I got to come up with better ideas, right? No, I changed my lifestyle though. I now only hang out with people who know CPR and are not beneficiaries of my life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty good idea there. That's a little, yeah. I have a new diet because of it. And it's a very, very, very strict diet. Very strict diet. It's so strict that even vegans are like, dude, that's pretty strict. Right? No meat whatsoever. But I do the shopping for the family. I do the food shopping for the family. It's so messed up, right? It's messed up. I'm getting like ground beef and chicken there. I got it on the conveyor belt. My hand's shaking at the supermarket. I didn't come home for like a couple hours. They couldn't find me. My wife got all freaked out. She's dialing 911, calling the police, all that. They found me behind a Wawa, snarfing on beef jerky and Slim Jims. Oh man. All right. Anyway, last thing is, I'll tell you, it's getting to be my time anyway. The weirdest thing that happens is that people came up to me after my heart attack and they're like, "Oh my God, you look great. You look so great." Bullshit. I look exactly the way I looked before the heart attack. I think people think when you have a heart attack, you automatically look like Martin Sheen in Wall Street, where he's like this with the nose thing on it. And he's crying a tear out of his eye, right? Doesn't happen like that necessarily. And it's just, I don't know, but people are saying you look great. You didn't come to me September 15th and say, "Hey, you look great." Yeah. A couple people said you look like shit, you look mediocre, but nobody said you look great. Looking great. People who say look great, it's a complete and utter lie, right? Because it basically means you look great because I thought you were going to look awful. Anyway, thank you. That is my time. Thank you guys very much for having me. Thank you. I will give myself a little plug. I do, obviously I do comedy shows. I don't really put on comedy shows, so you guys can book me, please. Thank you. I also sell real estate at the Jersey Shore. I pretty much handle anything from what would be Brigantine down to Cape May. I typically focus on Ocean City, Margate, Sea Isle City, and I do go inland as well. So if you are looking to buy or sell a home at the shore, give me a call or text me, or you'll see me tagged in this thing and hook it up, and we'll help out. Thanks.
Awesome job.
All right.
Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you with your time and the awesome jokes. And I'm sure I've been getting lots, and you're seeing it probably in the comments. People really enjoyed it. So thank you for Jeff for helping coordinate, with all of you. This is great. This is the second one we've done. So clap it up for Jeff.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to say the audience didn't like the show, but when they went on lockdown, it was their laptops that just went on lockdown. So just locked down their computer. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks.
I wish you guys have an awesome weekend, and maybe we'll do this again, guys. And those that are watching on the replay, please reach out to them. They have businesses as well. Let's all collaborate, make money together for sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care.